So just tell me a little bit of why you are supporting Kamala Harris.
Oh, it's very simple. I think she's better for business. I think she's better for the economy. I think she's better for all households and their pocketbooks and their bank accounts. I think she's better for foreign policy. I think she understands diplomacy better. Just across the board, I think she's a better candidate. And I'm happy to get into any details for any questions you ask.
I was you beat me to the punch. I was about to ask, my first a little more on that on the business and the economy. There are a lot of your contemporaries, billionaire, like billionaire Elon Musk, who argue that Donald Trump would serve the economy better than the Biden Harris
Well,
administration.
I don't care what Elon thinks. He's not running for anything. But let me talk about Kamala. The first thing to know is there are 33 million businesses in this country. Of those, 99% of them are considered to be small businesses. And of those, 98, 99% are considered pass-through businesses, meaning they're subchapter S, limited liability corporations, sole proprietorships, which means the businesses are taxed at the owner's personal tax level. And on top of that, of those 30 million businesses, 99% of the entrepreneurs, the CEOs, the people who own and run them make $400,000 or less. And why that's important is because Kamala Harris has been very specific to say that anybody who makes $400,000 or less, their taxes are not going up, they're only going down. And for 100 million people, those taxes will go down. So when you do all the numbers, that means almost every single business owner in this country are going to see their taxes stay the same or go down. And when you ask yourself, well, how many people make $400,000 or more? There's only 4 million of us. And so what that means is of the 330 some million people in this country, Kamala Harris has got a tax plan that's going to push their taxes to either stay the same or go down. While Donald Trump only cares about the small number of people who make a whole lot more. So that's number one. Number two, probably the second biggest line item for any business, their second largest expense is healthcare. It's terrifying. And for employees, it's terrifying as well. If you have a high deductible plan, if you have no insurance, if you're with a small company that doesn't have a great plan, just getting sick or somebody in your family getting sick can be terrifying. What Kamala Harris has said specifically is that she's going to go after the pharmacy benefit managers, the people who are the pharmacy middlemen, and take care and deal with them, but also introduce transparency. I know from my own experiences in the pharmaceutical industry that will cut prices 20 to 30% or more. And if she's able to get any type of assistance from Congress, she's going to be able to apply that to the rest of healthcare. And so when you talk about inflation, yes, there's been inflation, but most of it, of not a lot of it, has been for healthcare. And the reality is, what are we more concerned about as families, as individuals, as businesses, that we're going to get sick and not be able to afford our healthcare? Kamala Harris is addressing that directly. Donald Trump said he had a concept of a plan. Third is tariffs. Donald Trump likes to talk about tariffs as if there's some magical potion to get manufacturers to come back to the United States. The reality is he had 4 years to try that, and it didn't work. We know how tariffs work, and I'll tell you just how bad they are. If, let's say, for instance, let's just say pretend, and let's hope not, that Donald Trump won the election and it's this time next year, and you're thinking about Christmas presents for your family. Well, you may or may not realize that almost all of those presents are going to be made in China. The balls and bats and sporting goods equipment, the knickknacks that you buy from the candle shop, the dresses, you name it. Most of them are made in China. If he adds a 60% tariff, well, guess what? All the things that you were thinking about buying as Christmas presents for your friends and families and your kids, they're going up by at least 60%, which means you're not going to be able to buy as much for your kids because of tariffs. Is that really what we want? And it gets even worse than that.
So you're saying
because
you don't. So you're saying he's not going to be as strategic with the tariffs as maybe he was with his first
no, even with the first time.
administration with the because he did put tariffs on the steel industry and stuff like that to kind of help U.S. Steel and
But he
stuff.
also did no, but he also did across the board tariffs. And when he did the across the board tariffs, the Chinese retaliated and did their own tariffs. And so he started in January of 2018 negotiating the tariffs and implemented them, I think, in June or July of 2018. China came right back and retaliated and put their own tariffs and just killed our export industry, just destroyed it. And so Donald Trump went back and lowered them to try to get China to lower the tariffs, ended up having to take money from taxpayers and give it $20 billion, give or take, to soybean farmers. Donald Trump got destroyed by China in the tariff wars during his presidency. And so I don't know why, maybe, he's lost it, but him trying to re-implement these tariffs is going to crush families and their Christmas. And not only does it hurt families and their Christmas because they are across the board tariffs, you're right, Taylor. There are good tariffs that are strategic. When you put on steel to protect the steel industry, okay. When you put them on EVs to protect the EV industry, okay. But when you do them across the board, that just costs every single consumer money. It means you're going to buy fewer presents for Christmas, and all those stores in Harrisburg, the little dress shop, the sporting goods store that you've been going to get your kids stuff since they were 5 years old, those companies are going to get hurt badly. Donald Trump doesn't care. He hasn't learned any lessons from his first time with tariffs. You can't name one company that brought back their manufacturing to the United States. He did this thing in Wisconsin with a company called Foxconn, where he said they were bringing manufacturing to Wisconsin. There is still nothing built there. They just got money from the state of Wisconsin to do effectively nothing. That's pretty much indicative of what he was able to accomplish with his tariffs, which was nothing. And now we've got one bigger issue, and that's deportations.
Mm-hmm. I have to pause you. They're giving Mike is giving me a wrap, but I appreciate you hopping on, and I hope we get more time later.
You know what? Go ahead. Even with the wrap, let me finish your question because I want to get it done right. So go ahead.
Go for it. I'm here for it.
Go ahead.
But I'd love to kind of get the opportunity to speak with you a little bit more. Do you coming to Harrisburg anytime soon?
I wish I would, but go ahead and ask whatever question you were going to ask me, Tyler. Go ahead. I want to finish it up to make sure you get enough.
No, this is that was the last question I had, so I'm gonna let it go there. I appreciate it.
You got it, Tyler. Thanks so much. I appreciate you.
Not a problem. You have a good one.
You too.